Hello everyone. Today we are going to learn about the analysis workflow, which is one of the most important phases in software development. Before we start writing code, we need to understand what the customer actually wants. That is exactly the purpose of analysis workflow. During this phase, software developers study the user requirements carefully and identify what the system should do. Instead of focusing on programming or implementation, the analysis workflow focuses on understanding the problem and planning the solution. By the end of today's class, you will understand why analysis is important, what activities are performed during this phase, and what documents or models are produced. So now let's understand the analysis workflow in more detail. The analysis phase begins towards the end of inception phase and becomes the main focus during the elaboration phase of the software development process. The primary goal of analysis is to create something called analysis model. So what is an analysis model? It is a representation of the system that explains what the software should do. It identifies the system's functions, business rules, and user requirements. One important point to remember is that the analysis model does not explain how the system will be built. The implementation details, programming languages, database design, and the user interface are handled later during the design phase. For example, if you are developing an online library management system, the analysis model will specify that users should be able to search books, borrow books, and return the books. However, it will not describe which programming language or database will be used. Those decisions belong to the design phase. So analysis describes what should the system do, while design answers how will the system do it. So analysis begins towards the end of inception and is the main focus of the elaboration phase along with requirements. The aim of the analysis workflow is to produce an analysis model. So this model focuses on what the system needs to do but leaves the details of how it will do it to the design workflow. So next one is analysis artifacts. So an artifact is simply a document, model, or any work product created during the software development. During the analysis phase, two important artifacts are produced. First one is analysis class and second one is use case realization. Analysis classes represent the important objects or concepts in the business domain. For example, in a student management system, classes such as student, course, faculty, and department are considered as analysis classes because they represent real-world entities. Second one is use case realization. Use case realization explains how different analysis classes work together to complete a particular task requested by the user. For example, when a student registers for a course, the student class interacts with the course class and the registration class to complete the registration process. This interaction is represented through a use case realization. So to summarize, analysis classes represents the important entity in the system. Use case realization describes how these entities interact to perform a specific function. These artifacts help developers understand the system clearly before moving to the design and implementation stages. So artifacts, it means a tangible byproduct produced during the development of software. Two key artifacts produced in analysis model. Analysis classes, these model key concepts in the business domain. Use case realization, this illustrates how instance of the analysis classes can interact to realize the system behavior specified by use cases. So today we learned that the analysis workflow helps us understand the customer requirement, create an analysis model, and prepare important artifacts such as analysis classes and use case realizations. These forms the foundation for designing and developing a successful software system. So in the next slides, we will see how analysis modeling is performed and the guidelines that help us create effective analysis models. Thank you everyone.